finally, it's me. Yeah, another 30 minutes of misery, of exercise. Oh, dear God. Okay, I got to go down and get myself some coffee. I cannot talk long today because I have to do a little cleanup for Jane's production meeting, and then I have to, which involves getting rid of my Rift Bound. Show you this. I don't know if anyone's played this game yet, but there's a new League of Legends based trading card game called Riftbound, and it's rather fabulous. I'm quite enjoying it. It's another, of course, another collectible trading card game, and it's a whole other financial issue. But Baz and I got a couple of decks over the weekend as a sort of a treat because he was home, and we played a couple of games. He thrashed me every time because he always does, but still, it's a really fun game. Boy, that is some hair, isn't it? Look at that. That is a, you wait. That's going to be the latest thing. I'm sure that's going to really catch on. Okay, so I'm grabbing coffee, in whatever mug I can find. It looks like it's a B kind of a day. And I'm going to be doing wardrobe fitting today. Again, another wonderful wardrobe fitting with the brilliant folks at Vought Rising, the new boys show that I am very lucky to be a part of. I've got some fun stuff to do this week. I got a couple of days with them, Wednesday and Thursday. So unfortunately, that means I'm with Stargate Genius, but I'm hoping to get a damn dirty Abe's in there with Lance. And yeah, excuse my rushing around grabbing things, but yes, much to do. But yeah, so 30 minutes of misery on the torture device and 30 minutes of pleasurable learning as I listen to more of this Technological Republic book, which is, I gotta say, is fascinating. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm finding it's got some really interesting sort of stories and anecdotes about the world of the military-industrial complex and history in general, and our perspective on what our role in governing is, and just how. Oops, as I screw this up, and just how difficult it is to get things done. Oh shoot, it's going to be this again, isn't it? Oh my God, it's going to be this again. I've done it again. Okay, hang on. See me through here. I'm going to turn. Done. Okay, give it a second, and I'm hoping that the sound will now change. God, I always do this. I'm becoming old. Okay, never mind. Hello, everybody. Just saw Rise of the Planet of the Apes. The opportune time you need more screen time. Okay, sounds good. Is it back again now? It should be good now. Hello, Cal. How are you, Cal? Fabulous, Cal. Everyone say hi to Cal. Loud and clear. Okay, good. We lost your voice. Okay, has it come back now? There it is. LOL. So yeah, so it's these wretched things. I love these things. These are bone conducting headphones. These are actually waterproof, so Jane, not even just waterproof, they're waterproof and they have a little MP3 player in them so that Jane can swim with them. But I've basically stolen them at this point. I wear them all the time. I forget they're on. I go into the shower. I have a shower with them. Although I do, as I pointed out to Jane, I do clean behind my ears when these are on. A good evening from Germany. Good evening, Elizabeth with a Z. Gary, Darth, everybody, it's good to see ya. Janelle, Joan, oh my God, Joan has been watching Dog's Breakfast again. Oh, I'm so happy. I love that film. I mean, it's by no means so far from perfect. It is an imperfect little joy, though. It's like a badge photo of a good moment, if that makes sense, or a funny photo of a funny moment. It was just, yeah, it was wonderful to do. Okay, so let's go back to Technological Republic here for a second. So I'm at this point now where he's talking about the government procurement, really, where he's saying that the issues that they've had in the past is that things like, going into Iraq, forget the politics behind that, but just our wonderful military folks going into another country, let's just say, for a military action, whatever you feel about that military action, and they're faced with going in without walkie-talkies, basically, without these consumer available communication devices that are being held up because when they make an order to somewhere like Motorola to get these devices, they can't. Motorola can't fulfill these incredibly what is it, onerous requirements of what what each component cost and whatever. I mean, just basically the breakdown of the expense to stop so that the military can prove that they're not spending too much money, which they seem to do all the time anyways. There was that sort of that classic tale of a $400 hammer or whatever it was, which was just an accounting. It was just the way they accounted stuff. It wasn't actually a $400 hammer, but it was, the way it just showed the inefficiency of the system. So basically, faced with going into a dangerous situation without the proper communication, they turned to the Motorola to satisfy an immediate need. Motorola would love to help out, obviously, but can't because the requirements of them to document how these things are built and everything is too much. So they can't do it. So what America ends up doing, and this is kind of shocking because I didn't know this, America goes to Japan, their ally Japan, and says, can you buy all these walkie-talkies and then give them to us? And that's what they ended up having to do. And so there was a big political sort of kerfuffle about that. Clinton was in the White House at the time and worked with Gore on a new system that would streamline the process that basically says somewhere in there, I don't know if it's all about that, but certainly somewhere in there, there's this element that says if something is available in a consumer in a consumer way or a prosumer way or a business way, basically if it's available on the market, they're not allowed to start from ground and customize their own version, basically, unless there's a specific need that they can speak to. But basically, so in a situation going forward, if they need walkie-talkies, they can buy them from the best walkie-talkie person that they can find. That they are not to custom build their own stuff every time from the ground up, where basically, you've got buttons that cost a fortune because that one button is being manufactured for one plane on whatever. So basically, if they're available on the market, need to be at least considered or talked down from the beginning. So sounds like a great idea. Well, of course, when it comes to surveillance technology, not just the drones and the actual hardware side, there's the software side of this, which is what, of course, this guy who runs Palantir is so excited about. The software side of it, he goes, well, wait a second. The military is trying to develop their own, or has developed their own, surveillance and sort of database system, which allows them to share information, allows them to draw information from different things. It's not working. It's not working for the soldiers on the ground. And looking back to like the Second World War, they were talking about how there was a direct connection between the pilots and the manufacturers. The pilots would go and visit the manufacturing plants and say like, hey, it'd be really good if you could do this, this, and this. So there was a direct connection there where the people in harm's way, the ones who are using this technology, had an impact and an influence on what was being built by these companies, and that that has broken down. That no longer exists. There's so much bureaucracy. There's so much requirements from a government legislation standpoint that it is impossible for a pilot to go and speak to the company about the specifics that they want. Not impossible, but certainly not happening nearly to the extent that it was happening in the Second World War. And apparently the innovations that were made because of these insights by pilots were critical in creating a superior plane for combat. He feels basically had disappeared. And so there was not that kind of feedback. And apparently soldiers on the ground in Afghanistan were complaining about the lack of information that they had and intel that they had. They were begging for, Palantir. The guy's he's written the book, so of course they're begging for Palantir. But he's hearing that it's worked for soldiers, and they're asking for these same kind of technologies to be available to them. The military can't provide it on their custom-made stuff, so they still refuse to buy sort of off-the-shelf, for want of a better word, software for this. So they sued. They sued the government, which normally people don't do because obviously you don't want to sue the government if you want to contract with them. But they sued the government. They said, "Hey, this isn't right," or they sued the military, whatever the process is. And they were told, "Yeah, no, you have to most definitely consider the companies that are making this stuff before you start trying to customize your own software to help out the soldiers on the ground." And so they did, and it came down to two companies, and it was Palantir and another one. Enteron or something. I can't remember what it was called, but anyways, and so they went with Palantir for the entire thing. I mean, obviously, a tale told by the winner. I take all of this with a large grain of salt because as I say, I'm a little nervous about this guy's opinions on stuff and Palantir's moves in the political circles. Because again, I feel like, you know, obviously you want the best technology to support your troops in any way you can. Although I do feel that eventually those troops are going to be sitting in at computer screens controlling robotic or drone stuff instead. Because why would you put people in harm's way? I mean, the whole point of robotics is to do things that are repetitive or dangerous or uncomfortable for humans. And I can't think of anything more dangerous, uncomfortable, or traumatic for humans than having to fight in a combat in a war of some sort. So, and you're seeing that happening obviously in Ukraine as well, where they're they're using their big brains to sort that out. It's funny, there was an announcement recently about 1 billion robots were being bought by the military. One of these military. Again, I don't know the specifics of this, so feel free to fill it in and take it for don't take it for granted that I've got this right. But basically, a company declared that they were providing 1 billion drones to the military for future use. And the weird thing is, Ukraine are getting through like 1 billion drones a year. Is it 1 billion or is it 1 million? Maybe it's 1 million. I don't know. See, billions and millions is a big difference, but that's why you should definitely go check your facts, all that kind of stuff. Basically, point being is they had made a big press announcement about the U.S. military going to use drones, and they were going to buy as many drones, so many drones. And then when you look at it in the perspective of an actual live combat, where you're seeing that same number of drones is being used within a year of this stuff. So absolutely sort of fascinating where we're at and how there is still a disconnect between the real world and the world that has to, the governmental complex that needs to manage all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's, again, the book is really interesting. I'm really curious to see where it's going. I have a feeling I know where it's going. It is most definitely a bit of marketing for his company, for sure, and perhaps for his vision. And I don't know whether this vision became before or after. I mean, his frustration with things like Zynga and Groupon being the Wall Street darlings, when Palantir was working away trying to, in his mind, save lives and make life better for our military folks, again, which is an honorable pursuit. I guess someone's got to do it, right? I mean, and I guess that's his point. But at the same time, I now hear that the Palantir, and I don't know whether this is true or not. I need to nail this down. I should look this up. Note to self: look up whether Palantir is in fact being used by ICE now. But the problem is that a lot of this military stuff gets kind of passed down to law enforcement and law enforcement to and ICE as well. So I just don't like the idea of a homeland security, roaming, using these technologies against its own people, because that's obviously one of the big tenets of America. Being in America is that freedom. And I've said this before. I think that freedom is a word that's being completely well, I mean, I think it's being misused now. I think people use the term freedom for selfishness at this point. I mean, freedom is not selfishness. Freedom requires work. It's not just something that is afforded to people, I don't think. And I think there's a tendency to feel that if anything is infringing on your personal, the things you personally hold important, that makes it that's an infringement on freedom. I think you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. There has to be a certain sort of limit to that stuff. Anyways, DARPA recently launched a new competition to call forward citizens to create a lightweight drones to carry over 110 pounds. There are parameters. Wow, Tom, that's fascinating. Okay. That's obviously what they want. How is that even a question? They are building out infrastructure for surveillance state right now, and it's exactly what Palantir is selling. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that they've got an actual contract with ICE. I'm just being careful as to where it's going. But it seems to me like, certainly, if not Palantir, this type of technology is being used We know it is being used by ICE at this point, so we got to be careful with that. ICE is using Palantir's Immigration OS. Article is from August the 21st. Thank you, Darth. Okay, so there you go. So they're using that. Everyone's saying hi to Cal. Good. That's very good. All right, I really can't talk for long today, I'm afraid, because as I say, I've got Jane's got a production meeting today at the house. She's doing a new show starting in January, which should be really fun. They're an amazing bunch of people who are doing it, and she is in charge of running the whole thing, of course, because she's a glutton for punishment, and she's producing it. And so she's got a production meeting, and of course, I've got all of my Rift-bound stuff out, and have lots of pizza crumbs from the many days that she's been away. We had, oh my God, it was awful. I had pizza the first night that she was away, and then we had pizza for breakfast with eggs, because we took the leftover pizza and had that with eggs, Baz and I. And then that night, then we had ramen for lunch, but they were frozen ramen, so they're very nice ones actually. I'll have to look up the brand because they're really quite delicious. And then we had for dinner that night, we ordered this juicy bird, it's called. Oh my God, it was so delicious, but holy crap, horrible on your stomach. And then last night, as our treat for last night, I made Baz sausages and pancakes yesterday for breakfast. But for our treat last night, we had one of these giant Swiss Chalet family pack things where you get the gravy and the squishy fries and that wonderful fake coleslaw, and it was great. The girls and I, it was the twins and I and Baz. I guess Baz. No, Baz wasn't. Was Baz there for that? No, he wasn't. Oh God, that's right. Baz had gone back last night. Damn it. Yeah, he's back at school. That's why I'm in his room. God, I miss that kid. I really do. It's so funny. It's so weird how, you walk around the house and it just feels like he should still be here, but of course he's not. He's doing fabulous things at university and writing 10-page essays and all this sort of stuff now. So poor kid, got some work ahead of him, especially going to this sort of exam zone. All right, I should get going. I'm apologizing. Cinejunkie, how are you? Oh, Cinejunkie, let's talk movies for a second. Okay, Black Phone 2 starts off so well, turns into an absolute snooze fest disaster. Really disappointed in that. Oh my God, I watched the first episode of Pluribus. Pluribus. Watch it. Fabulous. Although I will say this, I felt like the RNA thing was pretty obvious. Was it not? Did that not seem like an obvious thing? I mean, it probably helps that James Gurney had mentioned it, but I guess if you didn't know, maybe it wouldn't be so obvious. But just fabulous. It's funny. It's horrible. It's wonderful. It's speculative science fiction to some extent. I cannot wait in fact, we'll have to do like a special James Gurney talking Pluribus. In fact, that would be really fun to do, actually. It would be like a Pluribus talk where we could do like a watch party Pluribus or something, because it'd just be really nice to have a perspective on it from the biology world. I wonder if James would be up for that. Yes. All right. Yes, I finally watched it. You're My Girlfriend, and it's favorite on Stargate Atlantis. Hope life is treating you well. You're My Girlfriend. Okay, fine, Tiki Butt. That's fine. I'm up for that. And I'm so glad. I'm also my favorite on Stargate, so it's good. What kind of dipping sauce, David? Oh, Planetary Wish. There is no other dipping sauce. There is no other dipping sauce. It is the classic Swiss Chalet sauce that comes with the thing. I meant to order another gallon, but I forgot. I could, and I think at the end of the night, I was actually drinking the sauce. I love that stuff. I mean, it is probably the worst thing ever for you. And apparently, it has lemon in it. And the only reason I know that is because the Stargate writers mentioned it as the thing that made them realize that the guy that they were working with who claimed to have a lemon allergy did not, in fact, have as bad a lemon allergy as they had claimed to have. So that's little Stargate tidbit for you. All right, I'm out of here. Do it in Discord. Yeah, we're gonna figure that out, don't we? Did I join at the end? You did a bit low grade. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I apologize. I've got to. I can't talk for long today because I got to go do some help Jane out with some tidying up for this thing she's got going, and then I got to go do a wardrobe fitting. Oh, can't wait to see what suit I'm. Oh God, I hope it's a suit. I hope it's a suit. Oh my God, what if it's like? I know there's some nudity at some point, so I don't. Oh boy. Anyways, okay, so. Nice sip of coffee. Lovely chat with you. 30 minutes of exercise done. 30 minutes of learning. 30, almost 20 minutes of pontificating. Thank you all so much. I really, truly don't know why you were here, but I so appreciate it. Yeah, this is fun. I just like this. This is really good. I just find it, yeah, it's sort of a pick me up. I was feeling a little low today, and I find the exercise really helps, and then this even more so. So it's great. No idea what's going on, but do you feel guilty for leaving Ford and Pegasus all this time? He's having fun. He's got his own friends now. He's got all his, he's got all his jacked up friends and things. I think he's fine. He's fine. Lemon makes it healthy. Exactly. Later, David. Later. Hey, sorry I missed you. Maybe I can catch you in the future. Have a good one. Good luck with the fitting. Thank you. Half donut. Half donut. I hope you had the other half. Blind Seer, I'm here because I'm a huge fan of your work. It's great to see you. Oh, thank you so much. Oh my God, everyone's so nice. Stay positive. You're right. Exactly. I think when in doubt, I'm going to try to pursue the optimistic approach on these things. But that said, not always easy. Yeah, I wonder, and we're about to find out today whether Canada has a government or not, because apparently if there's a non-confidence vote on this budget, apparently we're having another freaking election if that's the case. So I'm really hoping that gets sorted out as well. Really interesting interview with John Irving this morning, actually on CBC, where he was talking about how he's got this new book out. He will not be touring the States with it because he's so, vehemently opposed to everything that Trump is and stands for. Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, he was talking about how Cider House Rules, was obviously a big and influential book for a lot of people. It certainly was for me. I thought it was brilliant. Didn't like the movie as much, but the book was brilliant. And just how the women's reproductive rights are back or not in jeopardy. They've already been taken away, and just that he's just so sort of shocked that the difference in the world from when he wrote that to now. And yeah, it's just it's extraordinary. It's just kind of wonderfully funny, intelligent, and well-spoken guy. I gotta say, John Irving wrote one of my favorite books. Well, it's a bunch of them. I loved Cider House Rules. I loved Prayer for Owen Meany. I've not read a lot of the other ones. There was another one I read. Yeah. And yeah. I mean, it's just an amazing author. Anyways, okay, I gotta go. You think it's his loss, Stephen? You think it's his loss not coming to America? I just think look, I mean, I think it's got to be kind of hard to speak to tyranny in your literature and then choose to support it by spending money and time down there, I guess. I'm a complete hypocrite on that. I mean, I've got nothing nice to say about the administration. I try to find some positive things in there. And, one of the interesting things was I complained a lot about companies not paying taxes. And, one of the reasons why Facebook was devalued so much recently was because of a massive tax hit that they got because they had planned on having, their tax rules in place to work with the original setup. And then Trump's big stupid bill, of which I'm sure there's stuff in there that's valuable. I'm speaking to one of them right now, is that, they have made companies earning over $1 billion have there's a certain sort of like a new tax thing for them. So hopefully that will allow us to have some more money to do good. But I just worry when I see that money, when I see that money the way it's being spent right now, huge amounts of money going on ICE, huge amounts of money. I don't care whether it's Patreons or whatever. It's still money that could be used for something else. Tearing down the White House and putting gold on everything is just ridiculous. And has anyone watched South Park? Holy crap. I can't say I enjoy it. I don't think it's very funny, but my God, does it just mercilessly mock the administration? It is, and AI for that matter. But I'm not going to recommend anyone see it because honestly, I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is just, I'm not like, it was repulsive, to be honest. I didn't think it was funny at all. I thought it was they have a tendency to get very childish at times and sort of scatological and stuff. And I'm afraid I'm an old prude when it comes to this stuff. So I they have a very clever thing to say, but I just felt that the way they were saying it was not very clever. The point was basically that now AI is so prevalent that there's now deniability. You can now deny
basically deny you've done anything that can be filmed, because you can say that it's oh no, that's AI, it's fake, it's absolutely fake, you know, so that kind of stuff. So yeah, Half Donut. I mean, like I say, it's not my favorite. I don't love South Park. I never really have. I always found it a bit too crude for me, because I'm prude. Too crude for this prude. But if you just want to see a startling satire of this current administration and the people in it, it's shocking. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. I can only imagine what kind of resources Trump is putting into taking them down, because it is merciless in its attack on him. Typos, gotta love typos. Oh, burn and learn. Oh, haven't burned for a long time. Well, then get back on your torture device and do some exercise. I gotta say, it does make a difference. The biggest thing for me, I think, is it helps with my mood. You know, the Hewletts have a tendency towards the black dog, as I think it was Churchill used to call it. You know, we tend to be very good at getting really down and really up. And when we get really down, it's not always good. So I find the exercise helps me with my mood, and then also just this nice little, not so much back and forth, I guess, because no one. I guess it's really a one-sided conversation, isn't it? But I do enjoy it. I do like the chat. So thank you. All right. I better get out of here. Please do me a favor. Go check out techbandits.org. Sign yourself up for the email of awesomeness, which is free. There's a bunch of Stargate-inspired, well, McKay-inspired merchandise there. There was no McKay merch, so I got to make my own. And then there's like Patreons and stuff like that if you want to help out. Really appreciate the people who have helped out. And the people who listen. Yeah, it's great. This is wonderful. Thank you. All right, to we geek again, I will say, be brave, be kind, be brilliant, cheerio, and huzzah! Where is huzzah? Oh, huzzah's out getting a huzzah. She's been lying in tree sap, so she's all sticky and gross, and things are all stuck to her. So we're going to get her all, you know, fluffed up. She's going to the dog fluffer or whatever they're called. It's going to cost a fortune. All right, bye, grumpy guy.